All right, we are here for our last day. This is actually our second day, even though we don't review enough of solving quadratics for our test for our Thanksgiving break. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. So now, for those that are at the not in the in-class audience, you're going to see some text written up here. I let my students have an orange sheet, let them have anything written on it that they think they might need. Believe it or not, I have lots of students that think they don't need one, but they probably should blank one. And anyways, just little reminders about how they should be able to do some of these things because believe it or not, in the real world, everything is open notes. Okay. All right. So, part one, the things I would remember. I bet nobody's ever said this as they were teaching this or reviewing it. After factoring, answers are the opposite signs of the numbers in the parentheses. Okay? They're the opposite. All right. Now, let's look here at number one. Whoops. There we go. All right. Now, so we put our X's and X's. Now, this negative in front of the 28 tells us our signs are different. This negative tells us our big number, bless you, negative. All right. So if we're factoring it, negative 28, negative 3. Now, before we move on, I would like to show this. For if needed, I have these things. It's a multiplication chart that you could actually find the factors. If you have a hard time finding factors, I can make extra copies of these for people that may need them tomorrow. Just a little FYI, BT dubs, TBH, IRL. So you're not SOL. Oh my gosh. My watch thought I was talking to her. Okay, now factors 28. Now we got negative 28 and 1, negative 14 and 2, negative 7 and 4. All right, so yeah, negative 7 and 4. Those are our factors we're going to use. Is that our answer? No. The answer is the opposite of these in the parentheses. So instead of being a positive 4, this is a negative 4. Instead of being a negative 7, this is a positive 7. Okay? Usually what people miss on these, they'll get the right numbers, that they'll put the wrong signs. You know, that's only a small deduction in points, but you know, there's only 7 questions on this test. How many how many questions have been on the practice test? You didn't notice how many questions were on the practice test? Why am I even here? Why am I even here? All right, so moving on to number 2. Can we start number 2 as it is written? No, why not? I'm glad y'all can't hear this because all I'm hearing a lot of because everybody's talking together. That's why it sounds like that. But in between all the I did hear at different times, we have to get 0 on one side by itself. So let's subtract the 2x. to get it all on one side. Okay. Now we can factor these. All right. So this negative in front of the 24 tells us our signs are different. This tells us our bigger number is negative. Apparently, there's a theme with some of these practice tests. Apparently, there's a lot of them have fours, and a lot of them that's like this. The signs are different. The bigger number is negative. Okay, so 24, -2. All right, 1, -12, and 2, 23, -10. All right, -6 and 4. All right, you could have went through and said, -8 and 3, but ran out of room. But yeah, you should end up getting these as your factors. This is actually how it factors. Now, as far as how you answer it, remember it's the opposite. So instead of being a +4, it's a -4, and then this right here. Okay. Now, remember, for those that think they might be slick, but you're about as slick as a gravel driveway, Uh, I do know what Photomath puts these answers in. I do know the format. Okay. All right. Does anybody need more time with number 1, number 2? Is everybody good? All right. Number 3. Okay. Number 3, we can start this as is. All right. This tells us our signs are different. This tells us our bigger number positive or negative. Can you wait till we get to the section about the quadratics formula before you ask questions about that? All right. This is actually going to be all right. So there's the opposite. So we're going to have -4 and 9. All right. Number 4, again, we've got to move something over. We got to move a 20 over this time. Can you turn the volume down on that beside you? This tells us signs are different. This is bigger number negative. All right. factors of negative 20 that combine to give you negative 1, okay, is going to be positive 4 and negative 5. So your answer would be the opposite, negative 4, positive 5. What? No. As long as I get as long as I get the correct numbers with the correct sign, the order does not matter. Okay? Now, if you were to have this on the ACT, it would probably, they would go from least to greatest as you would that's just what they do. Um but, you know, who knows? Yep, this is pretty real. All right. Are we good with 3 and 4? Anybody need more time? All right. Now, moving on to part 2. Okay. Now, since you have an orange sheet that you can use as a reference for your test, snacks, I would write this down. Okay. It must be in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay. And you're going to plug it into this equation, this x equals negative b plus or minus, all that. Remember, I showed y'all, well, I showed my class. If you want to see something funny, look up Crank That Quadratic Formula on the YouTube. It's from like, what, 15 years ago. It's a chuckle. It's a chuckle fest. Okay, just like somebody will watch this in 15 years, like this is a chuckle fest. Now, also, you're going to start up underneath the square root when you're plugging stuff into the calculator. Okay, now remember, for these problems, you get 2 points for filling in the A, B, and C for each of these. So you get 6 points for at least doing that right. Now, I will tell you this. If you give me like the variables with it, I'm going to take points off. Because that's just y'all not paying attention. Yeah, honey, if you put no, okay, that's for this stuff. The order doesn't matter. This actually has an order, and this order doesn't. What? The question was, if we write them in the wrong spot, are you going to take off point? Where would you write it? I mean, why would you write what A, B, and C is in a different spot other than where it specifies? Put it here to get the points. Okay, well, all right, moving on. So, what is A for number 5? 5. No, it's just 5. Okay. What is B? Negative 1. What is C? Negative 1. Okay, so now we plug it in. All right, A goes here, A goes here. All right, a B goes here, a B goes here, and a C goes here. All right, now we're going to take all that and plug it in to our calculator. I'm going to write this right here whoop, 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 just in case. Minus 4 times 5. All right. So we plug that in. We get the square root of 21. All right. It's simplified. It already tells us that's the square root of 21. I actually did the square root sign this time. We cannot take the square root of 21. So 2 times 5 is 10. What is a negative times negative 1? And then put the plus or minus. Now, remember, if your format is different than mine, I will know how you cheated. Well, it's kind of like a student I had in Algebra 2 last fall that they tried to tell me that this is how they learned how to write something in when they had algebra during 2020. It wasn't. And then I made fun of them for the rest of the semester, and they were too not smart enough to understand I was making fun of them. It was a great time. Great time. Plug what into the calculator? The whole quadratic formula? Okay. For the calculators we have, you cannot plug the whole thing into the quadratic formula because this might be hard to hear because I'm having to talk over a couple people. We don't have this form right here. Okay. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all to start here and then work out. Now, other calculators, some higher up and stuff like that, your TI-83, your CAS, some of your other system, your Inspires, they probably have that. Uh, I don't have those, considering these are like $18 and people steal them while they're wearing $600 worth of clothes. So I don't know. All right, we go to number 5. All right, number 6. Oh my goodness. All right, so for number 6, what is A? What is B? What is C? Okay, so we plug in. So A goes here, A goes here, B goes here, B goes here, C goes here. All right, so again, starting here, I'll forget to do the square root this time. I don't know what I was thinking that time. All right, I get a negative 11. Yeah, I'm not done if you just, just kind of wait. All right. So I get a negative 11. All right. Now, let's clean up the rest of it right quick. What is negative times negative 3? Positive 3. What's 2 times 1? 2. All right. Now, going back to that negative square root of negative 11. We can't plug that in the calculator. It will give us an error. So let's just take the square root of 11. And we get the square root of 11. Okay? So to actually make this answer correct, we do the following. I hope y'all show or whatever that you're all subjecting us to is nice enough for all this. All right. Why do we have to listen to your show? It's not our fault that you don't have headphones or earbuds or anything. All right. What has to go right here for this to be right? An I. Okay. All right. Are we good with number 6 before I move on? Everybody check your answer for number 6. All right. Number 7. All right. A is, B is, C is. Okay. And then we start here. Okay. So 5 squared minus 4, 3, 1. All right. We get 13. I'm pretty sure 13 does not have a square root. It does not. So when we go to answer, okay, what is 2 times 3? I always do that. I freaking hate that. Okay, what is negative times 5? All right, and this is just the square root of 13. And that is our second, not one, but two, second review of this right here of solving quadratics. Don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Stay farce. Oh, snacks. What did the egg say to the frying pan? You crack me up. By the way, that was her joke. That's why it's not great. All right. Good stuff. Good things. Roll Tide.